I'm Siddharth, as you all know the name now. Uh, I today have uh, a few important topics. One is sports, and the other one is books. Okay, so there are a couple of questions that are asked usually in the exams about books, uh, and there was a query also that I received a few days back about how to go about books. Since there are so many books and authors, even within 1 year. So how do we go about it? So there are 3 points that you need to keep in mind when we talk about books and authors. Okay, one, books that are controversial. Okay, any book that would have created any kind of controversy uh, is important. That's one. Secondly, book by non-writers. Okay, by non-writers, I mean politicians, film stars, players. Books by non-writers are also important. Okay, and third is any book which has received any award, either the book or the author. Okay, so these are the three categories that we need to keep in mind. One, the controversial, the controversial book, the controversy there. Secondly, any book that has received or won any award, and the third, book by a non-writer. Okay, these are the three important types of books that you need to be aware of. Apart from that, they can definitely ask you any question from books and authors, and do not think that it's going to be only current affairs. Okay, they can ask you a book written long time back, but if there is any book on which a film was made, is also important. Okay, an adaptation of that book uh, is also important. Okay, I hope that solves the query there. So today let's quickly take a look at what we have. Okay, so let's straight away go to. Yeah, so as I have already told you, books and sports, these are the two categories that we are going to talk about today. We know this face. Some of you would definitely be knowing. Uh, any idea who this face is? The topic is international fiction. So she writes fiction. Okay. Her name is not the Icabog. This is the new book that she has written, the Icabog. Okay. This book, okay, I'll talk about this book in a while. Her name is Robert Galbraith. Okay. Now you might wonder, Robert is usually a name of a man. So let me just tell you, this is a pseudonym that she has used. तो pseudonym क्या होता है? एक तरह का पेन नेम यू कैन से, मतलब आप किसी और के नाम से आप चीजें लिख रहे हो. एंड देयर आर लॉट ऑफ राइटर्स इन द पास्ट हु हैव डन दैट. कुछ लोगों को पॉलिटिकल डर की वजह से, कुछ लोगों को जैसे लाइक इफ यू टॉक अबाउट दिस फीमेल, बिकॉज शी वांटेड टू हैव अ सेपरेट जॉनर टू हरसेल्फ. जब एक सेपरेट जॉनर के अंदर लिखना है मेरे को, तो मैं अपने अपने असली नाम से लिखूंगी तो इट माइट नॉट बी रिसीव्ड in the same way it should be received. Okay, Robert Galbraith is the pseudonym of Joanne Rowling. Now, Joanne Rowling, is she a sister or no? No, no. She is J.K. Rowling. The name is Joanne Rowling. Okay, so as I was talking about the pseudonym, J.K. Rowling is famous for her series of Harry Potter books. Okay, and although the movies that have come recently, there are, I think, a couple of movies that were released, which were not based on the movies, on the books rather. They are based on the character, the movie character. did not do well. Okay, it was like a prequel to Harry Potter kind of a thing. I don't think it did well, but J.K. Rowling is famous for Harry Potter and the series. Okay, it was seven series. Seventh one was in two parts. Uh, so why did she take the name Robert Galbraith? Is because uh, she thought if I'll write with the same name, J.K. Rowling, people might expect a certain type in the writing. मतलब जो मैं लिखूंगी वैसा उसमें लोगों को एक ऑलरेडी एक बना लेंगे इमेज. दैट्स व्हाई शी चूज द नेम रॉबर्ट गैलब्रेथ, ताकि लोग पढ़ें तो एकदम फ्रेश इमेज के साथ में पढ़ें. Okay. Her latest book is Ichabog. Now, Ichabog is again a fiction about a king and a kingdom and all. Uh, it was couple of chapters were released, I think around May, for free for the people to read. But now it has been stopped, and the movie and the book is going to be released in around November. What she has said is that all the earnings that she is going to have from the book is going to be donated to the uh, foundations associated with COVID pandemic. Okay, so all the royalty will be donated according to her. Okay, important information. The ICABOG. Okay, international biography. So biography हमें पता है क्या होता है. Okay, uh, finding freedom. So this is not the complete name of the book. I've just written it so that if anybody knows, it should click with the person. If not, let me just give the full name of the book. Finding Freedom, Harry and Meghan and the Making of a Modern Royal Family. Now, what is this about? Uh, I'll talk about it in a while. Omid Scobie and Caroline Durand are the two royal reporters. Okay, royal reporters are the people who cover the royal family. Okay, in the media, they write for the royal family and things that happen around them. So these two have written a book on Harry and Meghan. Okay, uh, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Okay, these two got married some time back, and of course they are the Dutch and the Duchess of Sussex. Okay. Uh, Now, what is the entire thing about? I believe you are aware of it, but still, let me just throw some light. Harry and Meghan, they decided not to be the front runners of the royal family, and they left England. They moved to the US. Okay, and it created a lot of controversy. Many people supported them. Many people were happy about their decision that they are wanting to move away from the the royal stature. This book talks about what led to that decision of theirs, how Harry and Meghan they met, and what led to that decision. So it talks about that portion. Okay, modern royal family. So it suggests that. Okay, international biography. See, it is important for me to talk about the books as well. Now, what is the point? Are they going to ask us about what the book is about? No, they're not going to do that. However, when we talk about current affairs or GK, we need to understand this part that just by mugging things up, रट्टा मार करके, by cramming things up, you're not going to remember things. But अगर उसके बारे में कुछ दो चार बातें हो जाती हैं, थोड़ा इधर उधर की बातें हो जाती हैं, तो it remains in our mind. So that is why I'm talking a few things about the book, about the writers, and few other things that I can talk about, so that it remains with you. Okay, I hope this thing works. uh, India Autobiography. Okay, so it's an Indian book, and the author, Mind Master is the name of the book. It's an autobiography. Any clue? It says Mind and it says Master. Okay. Vishwanathan Anand, the first Grand Master of India. Okay, the first Grand Master of India, Vishwanathan Anand, he has penned a book, Mind Master. Of course, we need to understand one more thing, that all these uh, celebrities who come up with writing books, they're not the ones to actually write it down. So they're not turned authors. Okay, they're not turned writers. Somebody writes for them. Okay, so they dictate or they just talk about their story or their happenings, and then the other person writes them down. So mind master, but then the credit goes to the person on whom it has been written. Okay, so Vishwanathan Anand autobiography, mind master. uh, India, as I said, he is India's first Grand Master and also the first recipient of Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award in 1991. Okay, Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award is the highest sporting award in India. Highest sporting award in India. There was some news sometime back that the name Rajiv Gandhi might be dropped from Khel Ratna Award. I don't think that has happened yet. Okay, but the discussion is still on. Okay, the first recipient in 1991. So this gives us two things. If the question comes as who was the first recipient, we know that. If the question comes as when did it start, we know who or when. Okay, moving forward, a very interesting photograph here. Towards the right, entirely to the right, this person we know, he is a legend sort of a person. He is Ratan Tata. To the second right, we have our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Who are these two people? This person should be known by all. And if you're going for IMs and all, you should be knowing this guy. If you're going for TIS, especially, you should be aware of these two people. Why? Is because I'm talking about a book called as Digital Nation. Okay, it's a different name altogether. Digital Nation. This is a book that has been written by N. Chandrasekharan and Rupa Purushottam. N. Chandrasekharan is the current head of Tata Sons, the current chairman of Tata Sons. Okay, so we know what all happened. When Ratan Tata he retired, Cyrus Mistry became the chairman of Tata Sons. After Cyrus Mistry was asked to leave, there was a gap, and then we had finally N. Chandrasekharan take over as the chairman of Tata Sons. Okay, he was earlier the uh, head of Tata Motors. Okay, N. Chandrasekharan was the head of Tata Motors. Now he is the head of the entire Tata Group. Okay, Rupa Purushottam is the chief economist with Tata Sons. Okay, she is a chief economist with Tata Sons. Now we have a businessman, we have an economist. These two people have written a book called as Digital Nation. Digital Nation is a book. It's a futuristic book, and it's one of the best business books that we should read, and especially the people who are wanting to get into MBA and all. It talks about how technology uh, can be used for the betterment of human beings. It talks about what all uh, can be done in the future course of action for India in terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of gender inequality, and pay gaps, and many other things, and where all technology can be helpful. Okay, very important book. It has been reviewed positively across. Okay, so we should be aware of this. This guy you would not be knowing, but now we would know this person. No, he's not Devi as such. The guy is Satyarth Nayak. Now, Satyarth Nayak is a guy who is a screenwriter and an author. Okay, screenwriter means somebody who writes for the screen, like for the TV serials and all. So he rose to fame with the show on Sony Entertainment Television. The show's name was Porous. अगर किसी ने देखा होगा पोरस करके शो था he wrote that. He has written a book called as Devi Girl Woman Superstar. Okay, and this is not a biography, this is not anything else but uh, story or a kind of tracking Sri Devi's record after she made a comeback to films in 2012 with a very hit film, English Winglish. Okay, so she made a comeback with the film English Winglish, and Siddharth Naik has then tracked the entire journey until her death. Okay, the cover of the book says all. Even the uh, publishers, Penguin. Okay, so Baba Ramdev has written an autobiography. As I was saying, these people, they themselves do not write. We have the writers, editors who, or the journalists, etc., who write. Okay, so Uday Mahurkar has written this book, My Life, My Mission. It talks about how Baba Ramdev faced atrocities, difficulties, and how he took yoga and what all he did in his journey so far. Okay, my life, my mission. Uh, Coronel, this is important. We need to discuss this as well. Although it does not come in the books section, but since we're talking about Baba Ramdev, who's also known as Swami Ramdev, uh, Coronel was more of a disaster. And I do not know why he was in such a hurry to actually come out with something like that. And the kind of marketing he did was completely false. He had, and I read a lot of reviews by common people, okay, and uh, they all were aghast with what he has done. Not because they didn't believe that Baba Ramdev can come up with a medicine like this. They were a bit disheartened कि अगर ये इम्यूनिटी बूस्टर के नाम से दवाई लेकर आते, it would have been a super hit medicine. Okay, but it was presented as a cure for coronavirus, and which led to disheartening of a lot of people. So the entire controversy is still sub judice. We will not talk further about it. Again, the cover says all. Game Changer is the name of the book written by Shahid Afridi along with Wajahat S. Khan. Okay, Game Changer. So he talks about him rising to fame after 1996. So the journey is again not an autobiography; it is a memoir. So incidents from his cricketing life have been talked about after 1996. Game Changer by Shahid Afridi. Business book Raghuram Rajan, the third pillar. Okay, uh, very important book. I'll discuss a few things about it. Raghuram Rajan, as we know, is a former RBI governor, a controversial figure, not because of this government as such, but and we should be aware. The problem is that once we hail somebody, हमें अगर कोई बहुत अच्छा लगता है तो हम उसको हर चीज में अच्छा मानते हैं. Okay, this has happened with a lot of Congress leaders, the erstwhile Congress leaders, जो पुराने थे, has happened with Narendra Modi and few other people also, and now with Raghuram Rajan and the likes. Raghuram Rajan was hailed as the wow uh, uh, RBI governor, but do we know that in the Karni Chidambaram case, so there is a corruption case that's been going on in which P. Chidambaram, his son Karni Chidambaram have been named. Okay, money laundering case and all, lot of things are there. Raghuram Rajan's name has also cropped up. Strange. Okay, and most of the loan defaults, etc., that have happened by banks have been done during his tenure. So I'm not accusing, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that uh, a controversial figure as such. Okay, and he has not been in India as well. He had been in the US and in with IMF, and he was just brought in from outside. Strange move, but yeah. So he has written this book, The Third Pillar, and the third pillar has again been reviewed positively. It talks about what all again can be done uh, to build communities and the gaps that are there in the economic schemes, practices, and what all can be done. Okay, there is an award by the Financial Times and McKinsey. McKinsey is a company that I've discussed in my one of my previous videos. Okay, it's a market research, it's a management consulting firm, McKinsey. तो फाइनेंशियल टाइम्स एंड McKinsey एंड कंपनी का एक अवार्ड होता है. So Raghuram Rajan has been nominated. This book has been nominated for that award as well. Okay. Uh, so this was about this book. Important if you would like to know things about economy and how things work. So two business books we have already talked about. First one was Digital Nation, and the other one is The Third Pillar. Few things about sports now. Okay, so this is not about books anymore. We are going to discuss sports in detail. I'm talking about the FIFA World Cup. Okay, the last one happened in 2018. The next one is of course going to happen in 2022. But where is the question? Where would the next FIFA be held? Okay, it's simple. Qatar. Okay, the FIFA World Cup is going to happen in Qatar in 2022. Okay, so this was one thing about football. This is really important. Women's Asian Cup. Many of you wouldn't have heard of this. Okay, and of course, why? Because we do not watch much of football, and that too women's tournaments as such. But important news. First of all, this Asian Cup is going to be held in 2022 in India. ठीक है, ये इंडिया में होगा और AFC is the one that actually conducts this cup. AFC is a very important body. It's Asian Football Confederation. Okay, Asian Football Confederation, AFC. Like we have got UFA and many other such organizations. We for Asia we have got AFC. Okay, and they have given this to India. It's going to happen in 5 cities. Okay, one in Navi Mumbai, Bhubaneswar, Ahmedabad, Kolkata, and one more city. I'm forgetting the name. Okay, moving forward. Now, last it happened in 1979, and that is why it is really important for us. Okay, so the last time it happened was in 1979, long back. And after such a long time, it's going to happen in India. So it's a big opportunity for India women's sports and sports as such. Why all the three I've talked about separately is because one, it brings in a lot of coverage, a lot of money through sponsorships. Secondly, for women, because last time it happened and now it's been happening, now it's after such a long gap, it brings a lot of publicity. So women's sports would be highlighted now. Okay. And the third one is about sports because India has been working on, bringing the status of sports in India to a certain level where it's not taken just as Khelo Kudo and all, but a serious business. So quite an important tournament is going to happen. Now, who is this? Asha Lata Devi. हमें ये भी नहीं पता. Okay, Asha Lata Devi is the captain of India's women's football team. Is that it? No. The AFC's Football Player of the Year. Okay, AFC's Football Player of the Year award has not been given to her, but nominated. Okay, she has been nominated. Rather, she was nominated. A player from Japan has been given this award finally, but she was nominated in itself is a big thing. Okay, so Asha Lata Devi, captain of Indian football women's team, was nominated for AFC Women's Player of the Year. Now, FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup. So one we are having the AFC Asian Cup, and now Under 17 Women's World Cup. In 2021, it's going to happen in India. Earlier, I think it was supposed to happen around February also, but it's been scheduled to happen around the end of 2021. Or we need to check it out right now. But yeah, it's going to happen in five cities. Okay, my bad. The earlier one was not going to happen in five cities. This one is going to happen in five cities. Okay, Women's World Cup. FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup. Hello India, a very, very important sports tournament that was started sometime back, a couple of years back. And so Khelo India uh, has now taken various shapes. Okay, there is a summer tournament, there's a winter tournament, and if we talk about winter games, they just happened like in February and in March. So in two phases, the winter games happened. One at Leh, so it started off with Leh. Okay, so the Khelo India, the first one happened in Leh around February, and around March it happened in Gulmarg, and every year it's going to happen like this. Okay, the winter games, Khelo India Winter Games. So we had skiing and many other snow-led tournaments as well, games as well. Also, as I said, it's been moved. So Khelo India started off as school tournament, which took the shape of Khelo India uh, young sports tournament, youth tournament now. Uh, Winter Games was added sometime back. Also, university games have been added. So Khelo India University Games, which happened at Bhubaneswar. So again, the year, the tournament, what, where. All these questions are important when we talk about sports. Okay, this year 2020 has not been very productive for the sports fraternity, so you will not get many achievements of players. Otherwise, the Olympics had to happen now. Uh, so these kind of pointers are important. All this information that I've just discussed. Like the this one, FIFA World Cup, Women's Asian Cup, uh, and all these stories are important. Okay, who is this? Okay, this is Tokyo 2020, which is not going to happen in 2020 now. Okay, it might happen in the second half of 2021. Okay, the second half of 2021 it might happen. Uh, I'm talking about Tokyo Olympics, of course. The theme of Tokyo Olympics is united by emotions. तो अब एक और चीज हमें समझ में आ रही है कि if you look at the entire reel again, you would realize the kind of question that I have asked and the importance they bring in, which means the pointers that I've discussed are only that much. मगर that suggests what kind of questions can be asked. जैसे स्पोर्ट्स, अगर मैंने अभी फीफा के बारे में बात करी, फुटबॉल के बारे में लार्जली बात करी है, तो स्पोर्ट्स के अंदर किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, दिस गिव्स यू एन आइडिया. ओके, सो यूनाइटेड बाय इमोशंस इज द थीम ऑफ टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स. मिराई टोआ, तो ये एक ही वर्ड है एक्चुअली में. ओके, मिराई टोआ is one word. I've just broken it down because ये एक्चुअल में दो वर्ड्स को मिलाकर के बनाया गया है. तो मिराई इज future and Toa means eternity. So it talks about how Tokyo and Japan looks at future and being an eternal leader. Okay, Mirai Toa. He is the mascot of Summer Olympics, the main ones that we talk about. Okay, there is a Someti, Someity. I have not covered that here. I'm just giving you information. I'll look at it later. But Somety, Someti is the mascot for Paralympics. Okay, there are other brand ambassadors as well, like Goku and Shin Chan and a few others. Okay, but this one is the mascot for Tokyo Olympics. Okay, so this information is important, and thank you. So I have covered a lot of books, a lot of uh, pointers from sports, which should give you a fair idea as to what all can be looked at and what all should be worked upon. You need to understand one thing, that we cannot cover each and everything in like a 20 minutes or 30 minutes video, uh, but the kind of pointers that I have covered, and trust me that the kind of pointers that I have covered are really important, uh, from the question perspective, also suggests what kind of questions can be asked. Okay, you start preparing, the time is running. However, the focus would be more towards QAV, DILR, of course, but these kind of videos would actually keep you updated, because I've not been covering current affairs of basis the daily news. Okay, that's really irritating also for anyone to just go through it on a daily basis. So I've been covering around 1 year or 1.5 years of information that has been there from all different genres, and I've been requesting you guys to give me your feedback. Okay, I have been sharing my number in my previous videos as well. Please share your feedback with me. What all kind of information would you want? If there is any discussion that you want, I can do that as well. Like if you want more discussion to be done on economics, okay, there are certain topics that you came across with and want me to elaborate further on that or make you understand those topics, I'll do that as well. uh, any political issue and anything to do with science, let me know. Okay, because as I have been saying, it's not just about the exam GK. The GK thing remains with us, and it's going to help us out through GDs, VAT, and interviews. Okay, and it's good to be updated and knowledgeable about things. Okay, so thanks a lot for you for watching, and do let me know your views. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Take care.